wage. All right, Trace Gallagher, thank you. Joining us now for more on this is Leslie Marshall. She's a syndicated radio host and a Fox News contributor. All right, Leslie, so it doesn't matter. Even if you think that illegals who work hard here in this country, and many of them do, are entitled to, a fair wage, it's against the law. It's against the law. Employers are not allowed to hire workers who they know to be illegal. And now you got the Secretary of Labor reaching out to those very illegals and saying, if you're not getting the money you deserve, call me.
Well, I'll tell you, Megyn, this is one day where I woke up a liberal Democrat and said, well, I think Democrats and Republicans are going to agree on something. It might be Hilda having a sit down with the president after the general in the next 24 hours. I agree with you. There's absolutely no question about the law and what the law states, and illegals are just that. They are illegal and breaking the law. However, they're not the only ones breaking the law. The corporations dangling those carrots with jobs, bringing them over the border for those jobs, are also breaking the law. And in a sense, quite frankly, we are contributing to breaking the law by purchasing the products from such organizations and corporations. So I feel that we, the American people, have a lot more power than we know. We can stop purchasing goods where they're using illegals. We can bring to attention corporations that are hiring illegal immigrants, especially people that are working within those organizations.
But what do you make...
No question was irresponsible and wrong for her to state. That's not that. I have no disagreement with it.
What do you make of it, though? I mean, seriously, Leslie, what do you make of the Secretary of Labor? This isn't La Raza. This is the Secretary of Labor coming out using tax dollars as a public service announcement. That doesn't, Hilda Solis doesn't pay for that out of her own personal money. She works for us, the American taxpayer. So she comes out with this public service announcement and actually reaches out and goes to great lengths to specifically reach out, not just to say, I'm not just talking about, documented workers. I'm talking about undocumented, illegal and legal. Call me up at this number if you're not getting paid a fair wage. And many people believe, Leslie, she does this because a U.S. Supreme Court decision a few years ago essentially found that illegals can't sue for back pay, and that cast doubt on whether they can sue for any money claims when they get, the shaft from their employer. So enter Hilda Solis, underdog, here to save the day.
Well, I don't think that's certainly going to save the day, Megyn, but I do think that you're right. There is perhaps in her mindset, and I certainly don't have the inner workings of her mind, but when you look at what's happened with Arizona, when you look at the reaction to illegal immigration, even since the former administration when it was shelved, and that's one thing former President Bush and I do agree on, is illegal immigration. If there is an idea within this administration and the Labor Department to start to try and have some kind of a citizenship program for these illegals, I'm not talking amnesty, this would be the beginnings of that. This is certainly my speculation only.
But do you have grounds for that? Because you've got, as you point out, there's sort of a comprehensive thing going on right now. If you look at the broad picture, you've got President Obama openly expressing his disdain for the Arizona immigration law, saying that his Justice Department now is going to sue over it. You've got several other members of his administration criticizing it. You've got the head of ICE, John Morton, saying he may or may not enforce the Arizona or the law when it comes to illegals referred to him by the state of Arizona. And now you've got his labor secretary going out there and essentially reaching out to illegals specifically to say, you call me if you're not getting paid a fair wage. I mean, is there, and then let's not forget what Senator John Kyle said yesterday, that President Obama pulled him aside in the Oval Office and basically said, I'm not going to enforce the southern border until I get Republican votes on comprehensive immigration reform, which the White House denied. But more and more every day we get a new report. I mean, does this not reflect a general attitude, essentially, by the Obama administration when it comes to illegals?
No, I don't think so, because if we're going to look at the Obama administration, then we need to look at the administrations for the past 30, 40, 50, even 60 years. Illegal immigrants haven't been coming over the border, as you know, Megyn, just in the past, couple of years or since Arizona passed a law. It's just there's a spotlight on it because of Arizona, and the spotlight was on it during the former administration until that was shelved. Right now, the polls show the American people care most about the economy and the BP oil spill. Illegal immigration does come up after that. We can't have our National Guard everywhere. We don't have the money to take care of every single problem every second of the time. Certainly, we do care about and need to care about securing our borders to protect us from terrorism, but that's not what we're talking about here in Arizona. These people, mostly in the state of Arizona, are talking about illegals, such as they are in the town of Fremont, Nebraska, that had a vote yesterday. And I feel that what the president's position is, and I do agree with him on this, is that we do have the laws in place on a federal level The Constitution does state it is the federal government's sole position to take care of this issue.
Wow.
And quite frankly, left and right administrations have dropped the ball. The INS is not doing its job enforcing these laws, no question. But you can't just go after the illegal immigrant. You have to go after the corporation. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's basic economic supply and demand. Without the jobs, they're not going to come.
All right. Thank you so much, Leslie. We appreciate you being here. All the best. Fox News Alert. We are